Forgive me, Mr. Claus. I'm afraid I've made a terrible mess of your holiday.
Bumpy sleigh ride, Jack? The next time you get the urge to take over someone else's holiday, I'd listen to her.
I hope there's still time.
He'll fix things, Jack. He knows what to do.
Ho, 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 ho!
Merry Christmas!
Hello, everyone. It's Friday. Happy FanGirl Friday. My name's Anita Castellar, and we are back for another FanGirl Friday Live. Welcome again. If you've been with us before, thank you for spending your time with us. If this is your first time, welcome. And hopefully you'll have some fun and, get some scoops, get some info, and learn a little information. My name, again, is Anita, but I am going to now bring into the conversation my friend Christine Taylor. How are you, Christine?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So Christine is a really good friend of the show. She has come on before. She is actually our first repeat guest. So you can check that off your bucket list. I'm sure that was what you were aiming for. But Christine, why don't you say again?
I love being here with you, Anita.
Well, we have a good time. So whether it's virtually or in person, we always have a good time. Why don't you give us a high-level overview of who you are and where do you work?
Yeah, I am Christine Taylor. I work at Hallmark. I am a creative manager in our licensing department, working on a lot of fun pop culture stuff, from Star Wars to DC Comics to Star Trek to Harry Potter and many, many other movie TV shows that we all love. I also am the creative director of PopMinded by Hallmark, which is our event and experience where we go to Comic-Cons. So you might have caught us there. And we work on the exclusives for that as well. So, yeah.
So there's a couple of different divisions of Hallmark though, right? I mean, there's obviously the TV shows.
Yeah. Yes. We're an omni-media company. So we do have Hallmark Channel, we have Hallmark Movies, we actually own Crayola. We have Crown Media is what we call all of our entertainment stuff. And then, of course, we have Hallmark Cards, which is global. Many of our things are global. So yeah, and we continue to expand. And even within cards, in our cards company, we do many, many other products like ornaments, like gift presentation and gift wrap and gifts and novelty items and many other things. So yeah.
Yeah, it's busy company. Right now, everybody's loving the Hallmark channels, of course, because all the Christmas movies have been on since October.
Yeah, it's been on the rise like every Christmas, but particularly this Christmas. I think people just needed they needed Christmas early, and I think we all know why. So we're doing really well with our Christmas movies, and they've sort of kind of taken a life of their own in the pop culture lexicon of interesting Christmas movie tropes that people like to have fun with on the internet. So
yeah, they do bring a lot of joy to people, and in this time we actually need a little suspension of reality. So it's great. It's really fun.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here today to talk to you, because it is the holiday season. It is Christmas. I don't wear an elf shirt every day, even though that's a great movie too. But, we wanted to talk about really great ideas for, if we're still looking for ideas for Christmas gifts, you guys, or decor ideas, if you haven't actually caught that Christmas spirit yourself, which I will admit, I struggled a little bit with it. I just put the tree up because I should, but after I put it up, then I felt a lot better. So if you're still looking for some ideas or some things to bring some joy in your life or in others, that's what Christine's here to do. She's going to take us through some ideas. We already had a good opening video of Nightmare Before Christmas. He's my personal favorite characters. So tell us a little bit about that program.
Yeah, it's part of our storyteller program, which was started actually. Star Wars was the first program we did several years back. We started to realize for some time that fans started to make their full trees, like Star Wars trees, Star Trek trees, based on whatever they loved. And fans wanted to deck out the entire tree. We started with Star Wars Death Star tree topper. Then we moved into the full storytellers, which is similar to what you saw with Nightmare, where the actual ornaments interact with each other. So it's technology where you plug it in, but they could be across the room if they wanted to, and they basically tell a fuller story. So they tell the whole story of Star Wars, and those were ships back then. And then, the minute we did that, everyone was like, "Where's my Star Trek tree?" So we also had to get into Star Trek, into Nightmare. We're doing Harry Potter. Harry Potter launched last year. We're in our last, and it's usually 1 or 2, sometimes 3, depending on how much content we have that we've built in, years. So it's a program where you might get the first few, and that way you're collecting over time. So you're not dropping hundreds of dollars. I mean, you could, some people do, just in 1 year, but you build it over time. And it's kind of fun. And honestly, the individual ornaments, they actually act on their own too. So if you were just a fan of that particular, like if you just want Jack, there's going to be plenty of sound for Jack. But if you add Sally, you're getting just a more robust.
That is so cool. I think that is just really neat. I don't know if you can reveal the technology behind it, but it's just really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple RFID, I mean, it's really, they're just, and then we have a magic cord plug that just plugs in to power it. And
the magic cord.
We call it well, everything's magic. Come on. If we're dealing with Christmas, we're dealing with magic. So if it plays, it has sound, if it moves, it's magic. So yeah, that you plug that in, and they all can connect to kind of one cord, so you can kind of string it around your tree. It's really long. That way you can space them out or however you want to on the tree. And they also light, so whenever they talk, those light up.
So you know which one's talking.
So you know which one's talking. Not that you wouldn't know, but it also kind of features them, so they'll brighten on the tree too. So
that's so fun. I do find that magical. I think little kids would really find that really fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a whole family thing. I bought Star Wars home to my family, and people would just sit in front of the tree and watch them all go, And it was in every age that we had when I brought it home last year. People were or year before last, they were just fascinated by the fact that it can happen. I mean, it really is kind of magical. And it's a different way to kind of tell the story, I mean, you're telling on the tree. And we've extended to other things too, like tree skirts. So you can really do a full head to toe. So we have a light up Star Wars tree skirt. We have a beautiful Harry Potter light up tree skirt. And sorry, I don't have an image of that one, but that is, you really, if you're a fan of any of those shows or those movies, you can really deck your tree out. And then I get fans sending me trees all the time where they've put their own fillers in, like Harry Potter ties around, or lightsabers, and then their Star Wars tree. Yeah. I mean, it's really fun this time of year, because during our social media, they're decorating their trees, and they're excited, and they're sending all of how they decorate with our ornaments. So it's cool.
Well, it's really great that, Hallmark is really listening to the fans. We talk a lot about how, brands and fans kind of intertwine, and it doesn't always have to be a toxic relationship. It can be a great relationship where you have with your fans and listen to them and listen to product ideas and such. So I think it sounds like what you also do is kind of pick up on trends too, right? In what's going on with people with their decor, or what the fandoms are doing, right? So I think you picked up on a couple of new ones too. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we're really expanding that we didn't have a very strong portfolio in was gaming. And, we picked up Nintendo and continue to add to that with Minecraft, with Fortnite, with Pokemon, and, Animal Crossing's coming up. I'm trying to think of all the ones that are coming, and we'll be adding more in the future. But it's something that we're actively seeking out, because it is you look at what happened during the pandemic, and everyone's playing games now too. Mm-hmm. So it isn't just for a young adult anymore, or a kid anymore. The whole family's really getting into as an experience. And so we have
quite a showing the video of the tree right now. That game tree.
So we have quite a bit. This is actually from a fan that made a little mini tree for her son in a room. with all of our ornaments. Most of those are just from this year. So you can see, you can start collecting year after year. You're going to have to get a bigger tree. And some of those are just ornaments she found or purchased or made as well. It's at Palooka 5 is her handle, but she's always talking to us on Instagram and sending ideas and pictures, and so we really appreciate when fans do that. But yeah, I mean, I can see, you know, gaming turning into something similar in how we approach our other fan bases in movies and television. Yeah. Particularly something like Nintendo that's been around for over 20 years now, you know. And so it's even starting to be more of a nostalgic property. And we have things for old gamers too, like the old stand-up arcades. We do like mini versions of the stand-up arcades. I think Joust is this year, but we've done many of them over time, which I enjoy. That's my genre, you know.
I was gonna say, be careful how you use that word old, like
well seasoned.
So, but you have the gamer tree was, you know, part of the fans, you know, kind of sharing with you ideas and or uses of how they've actually purchased your ornaments or your decoration items and such like that. And then, you know, so then you took it one step further. And I know that we also have an image of a Star Wars mini tree.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's new for this year or if that's something that's been out before.
That is new for this year. So the tree isn't actually Star Wars, and then the tree skirt's not Star Wars, but all the decor on it. So what we'll do is, in the same respect that we saw people, like you saw, she had done her son's gamer tree. Other people wanted smaller trees for their kids' rooms at Christmas because they wouldn't want to put a big one in there, or for their office, or, you know, something that's a little more manageable size tree. So we started creating more mini ornaments. We've always done mini ornaments, but not with the thought of filling out a miniature tree. And so we actually introduced a black wreath last time to put all your, you know, either Star Wars, Star Trek, Nightmare, anything that felt like it needed a black Christmas wreath. And then we went into a mini tree this year. So you literally, we've got miniature ornaments for Nightmare, so you can decorate it as a Nightmare tree. And I think we'll continue to do that because of and exactly what you're seeing with the gaming tree. There's a demand for it to have it. And we already had people doing full size trees, right? Stuff. And so, and particularly this year, you know, people just want Christmas in every room.
Yeah, I agree. But I like the idea of the mini trees because it also serves a purpose of not only, you know, something a little bit more manageable, also for those smaller living spaces. Like if you live in an urban area or an apartment or something, you know, you're like, I can't take up half my living room, you know, in a studio with, you know, a giant tree. So maybe a little tabletop one or, you know, various sizes are pretty neat. So it serves a purpose too, solves an issue.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you could it can be a centerpiece. Like you saw the picture that we had taken. You know,
that's pretty cool. I love the way you guys are always like kind of out there with the new trends and new ideas. And you think Christmas is so traditional and so, you know, very much like formulaic, right? I understand what this holiday is, and I like my traditions. And so my decorations look just so. But yet you guys always are looking for new ways to innovate, and not only with properties, but then also with the execution of it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, well, actually talking about new technologies, we actually just introduced another new technology. I've actually have it sitting here, which I think you'll start seeing in other characters and in some of our non-licensed product too, which is to get, you know, miniature movement. Here, let me.
So certain are you?
Oh wow!
Always with your work cannot be done. Do you nothing that I say?
So he has several phrases. He had about 7 phrases where he moves his mouth and his eyes, and
that's pretty neat.
Everything. And so you'll see us looking, you know, now we're like, what characters can we do that on? You know, we're just like,
no helmeted characters.
What?
No helmeted characters. That won't work.
I don't know that the helmets are going to really work. The helmet just pops off. No. Choking hazard.
Don't do that at home. No, that's pretty neat. I love the mouth movement. So you just sync up the motorized movement basically with the audio. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you've seen it in like full-size toys, but to get it down that miniature I was really impressed with the team that they were able to, you know, we have fabulous engineers that partner with our ornaments team to help us kind of figure out what's our next step? How can we keep innovating in this space?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, that you would think, I mean, Hallmark's been around for a while, so you have to kind of keep reinventing what Christmas or holiday season, because there's a lot of different holidays that people are celebrating right now. In fact, happy Hanukkah to anyone who is celebrating Hanukkah, because I know it just kind of kicked off. So, there's a lot of multiple holidays that are being celebrated right now, and I know that you guys are offering multiple varieties for those, even though we're just focusing right now on kind of pop culture versions of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think there's something for everyone, no matter what, how you celebrate Christmas. And speaking of Hanukkah, we have a lot of Jewish fans that that buy our ornaments. They just don't put them on a tree. So sometimes we have little displayable pedestals for people that don't want more of a traditional Christmas tree. So you can get things like that. So
you can just create dioramas.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. And we have tabletop pieces and all kinds of things that aren't necessarily your traditional, what you would think of Christmas, the way we think of Christmas. So
that's great. That's awesome. So going off to Christmas, continuing on in that vein, though, now we're into Harry Potter. You mentioned it before. I think you have some new ideas or great new products for this coming year as well, for this holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got up now?
We will show the Harry Potter sculpted pieces, I think, speaking of tabletop items.
Those actually came out earlier in the year, but I picked these two particular still available because they kind of have the bling that fills us right for sort of a Christmas, New Year. And so the Perpetual Calendar is something that now you have the home office, maybe you want, maybe you lose track of days. I know lose track of days.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that and continue that the next year without having to roll your calendar. So if you want to put January 1st, 2021 right now, you can just do that and pretend you're living in 2021 and 2027.
Through the magic of a perpetual calendar, we could be already in January 1st.
It's like the time burner. Then the snow globe is really fantastic because it has the music. So
fun.
You actually have the theme song that you can wind up and play. We have other things like mugs. So for you wizards that want to keep the muggles away. And then there's actually some tea towels too. So that's a matching one. And this one's cool. Our artist did like the entire Diagon Alley.
Oh, wow.
So that's a nice little tea towel. But we have a lot of like both kitchen, home office, lifestyle stuff for Harry Potter, for Star Wars, for Disney, for many others. And little secret, next year we'll have Star Trek. So
see, there you go. Already.
I mean, a show, but we are working on some ideas for other brands. And then things also like Wonder Woman this year. We'll have some Batman next year. And so it sort of ebbs and flows what's going on in the marketplace. And it's anything from novelty. Sometimes there's pure novelty items, like when we did the AT-AT tape dispenser.
Yeah.
To your general, mugs and usable items and things like that.
Harry Potter feels like it could be 365 though, even though it's really focused around this time period as well, because they have such a great iconic Christmas scene.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful, but yet, it feels like you can start off in Christmas and keep it 365.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that people do love. So most of our gifts launch in the spring. We do have some fall launches too, but many of our gift lines do launch in the spring and then just carry on all year long. So
that's an interesting release schedule. I would think that, again, holiday season and gifting and such, you would think, towards the fall. So
we actually think about the holidays in the beginning. So we're thinking about Mother's Day and Father's Day. So a lot of the gifts items that we're doing in our Hallmark Gold Crown Stars are more adult focused. So you'll see us leaning into some gifts that could go every day, but also could go for Mother's Day, like for Wonder Woman. Or we'll lean into, different ways that we might word something for Father's Day or for even graduation. So for a young adult. So we think about that gifting time frame, and we still have it where we carry it on into the Christmas season if you didn't pick it up earlier in the year.
Yeah. So we, mentioning your superheroes for, dads and moms. And I know that we have a really great spread that you sent to us as well of all these various superheroes. Like, well, actually, let's talk about the pop culture ones first. I'm sorry, but we have because we talk about superheroes a lot. We talk about Star Wars and Star Trek a lot, but yet we don't shine a light on some of the other ones that you guys are working on. So I think we have Back to the Future and the Haunted Mansion. Talk about those things.
Yeah, Back to the Future actually is on its 35th anniversary, if you can believe it. And so we sometimes, and we've done Back to the Future in the past. We've done the Time Machine and other things. We also have a time machine with a little Marty and Doc in itty bitty inside. So I don't know that one, but super cute that we did for the anniversary. The Haunted Mansion is also that Marty talks too. That ornament actually has lines from it. Michael J. Fox actually approved that ornament too. So it was really cool. I like when we were able to send it to them sometimes. Yeah. Just curious their feedback. But
now he's retiring too, and just makes it that much more special.
It does. It's kind of like we do Chevy Chase with as Clark Griswold every year, and I know that it meant a lot to him to have those. I think from Christmas Vacation, but the Haunted Mansion one is actually, this is the first time we've kind of delved into parks in a big way, and it's a beloved ride that everyone loves. Everyone knows those ghosts at the end, and so that sold out so fast. We just got more in like a month ago, and it's interesting how much we've sold out of many of our ornaments this year because so I apologize if you see a particular ornament in this and you go there and it's sold out, like the Nintendo Entertainment System that sold out, and so we're trying to get some more inventory in right before Christmas, but it's been a difficult year for that kind of thing too. But we are, we're doing our best to serve fans and our fans' needs to get it out, because Christmas is clearly very important this year. So it's all these sold out a lot of them sold out pretty early. But on that pop culture list too, another thing we just did is the first year is Stranger Things. This is the first thing we have Stranger Things. We're excited that there's some newness coming out in the next few years or so. For that, we added Itty Bitties, which I think I snuck for you last time.
Those are great.
But this one just came out like literally this week. So yeah, this is a cute little package.
And one's in the upside down, huh?
Yes. Will is upside down. So yeah, it's been a fun property to work on as well. But yeah, and pop culture ebbs and flows about what we do. We try to see what's trend, right? Where there's an anniversary, where there's a new movie, or just where we're hearing that people are into it. A lot of things, like when you look at Friends on there, Friends is something that popped back up a few years ago that people are just watching and binging on streaming now.
And they're younger too. It's not like our age group, it's actually younger.
They for sure. And so that couch actually has sound as well. So so a lot of what you see with our pop culture, we do try to infuse sort of some iconic phrases and things.
I really love the Animaniacs because we've been watching the new Animaniacs.
I watched Animaniacs when I was in college. I loved the Animaniacs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was really excited to see that Warner Brothers was rebooting the Animaniacs, and so we took this opportunity to kind of celebrate that. And I think you would see more in the future for that too.
That's really great. I do love that show. It's very smart.
It's so irreverent. I think people, it's a kid's show, but it's not a kid's show.
Yeah. So co-viewership, you can watch it with your kids, folks. And of course the staple, right? The Muppet Show, again, another kind of co-viewership thing where, I actually originally had bought, I don't know if you remember the Time Life videos, or the VHS tapes where they would send them to your house. Yeah, we had this subscription when my daughter was young, and I loved the Muppet Show so much, and it just brought back so many memories for me that when I had my first child, I was like, I have to have this subscription when I saw it on TV. And we still have them, by the way. And that's how they got introduced to the Muppet Show. So they saw those videos over and over again on VHS. And then so through the years, as the movies have come up, or as new reboots have come up and such, so they've taken it to their own level of love. And then through there, you can expand into other areas, because Jim Henson, the studio, and Jim Henson himself has had such an impact on pop culture and how people do films. And The Dark Crystal was just, on Netflix. I'm so sad that, they canceled it, but the quality and the mastery of what they do. But anyway, so I was really happy to see the Muppet Show on there as well.
With the theme song, no less. So it actually
with the theme song, because everybody loves to sing that. Do you have the horn part at the end where Statler and Waldorf always go on?
I have it here. I don't know that I have it with that right now, or I'd have to go check, because I don't quite remember. But we only have a certain amount of time.
Right.
So it probably just plays the key moment.
Probably, yeah.
Great, so
yeah, not Statler and Waldorf's all their crass jokes at the end.
Yes,
you probably need their own ornament.
We've done them before. Actually, I don't remember if they had sound or not.
Time to read. There's your free submission. So, but back to our superheroes, we did talk about those, and we want to do a little bit more deeper dive in them, because coming up on Christmas Day, I'm really excited to see Wonder Woman on HBO Max. Yay! So Thank you, Warner Brothers, for the gift of being able to release films. I know they're getting beat up a little bit about their release schedule, announcement for 2021. But me personally, I appreciate that they are releasing simultaneously on, in theaters and on the streaming service, that if you want to see it either way, you have that option. So thank you. I appreciate that. But they have some great options for ornaments this year. But the Wonder Woman piece, you've got nostalgia, you've got, new look, and a couple other ones too. You want to talk through some of those?
Yeah, I mean, I was a huge Linda Carter fan, and we've done Linda Carter Wonder Woman before. That's another one that we take the pleasure in knowing that she looked at it herself for the ornament.
She still looks so fabulous too. Oh my gosh.
But I
cryogenics, I tell you,
amazing. But that pose that a lot of people remember was a still pose for one of the for the show, because she wasn't always wearing her cape in the show. You didn't see the cape very much in the show, which was kind of cool. It was the last time we didn't have the cape, we just had a pose. So but yeah, there's that one, and then of course we were doing the 1984 version with her gold outfit. And then the other one is that, there's some theatrical releases on there. You saw it got bumped, and there was nothing that we could do. So Black Widow, yay, gets her own film. Boo, it gets moved. So pick up the ornament now. Right.
And then you can bring out your black tree at that time period and put it on.
Yeah. And there's some things, that studios always kind of hold back, or we have a long production cycle, so sometimes you'll see moments that we'll have to capture later, like with the Captain America yielding the hammer and Thor's hammer. And I'm trying to think what else
that would have been a spoiler if you released it too early.
Yes, of course. And then Harley Quinn, which from Birds of Prey, in her ending outfit. She had lots of outfit changes. It was difficult to choose, but we sort of like the sort of roller skates with
the roller derby style.
Totally. So that one's fun. Just, those are some of the ones that kind of come in and out because they're based in movies at the time. But
I like the old school Hall of Justice, the archway. That was how I got introduced to them, the Justice League as a kid. So
yeah, I watched the heck out of Super Friends, and so that actually I love that ornament so much. And if you go on to at PopMinded Instagram, you can scroll and find it, and it plays the sound. I don't have it to play right now, but it plays the full opening. We cleared everything, and it just brings back memories. And I know you have to be of a certain age to remember that, but it's a great ornament. It's a great ornament, a great opening. So
yeah, it was a good show too. So if you can find it, it's worth a look. It's definitely worth a look. So then Wonder Woman 1984, she comes out on December 25th. On Christmas Day. Loving that idea. But you have a nice little selection of giftables though that are not so, not just the ornaments, right? And you can use it every day, like we were saying, and kind of do your lifestyling with that too. So is there a cosmetic case, or what's that bag?
It's like a little zip and then a little keychain. That the keychain's separate from the little zip bag. Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a cosmetic case, an overnight case, whatever you want to keep stuff in.
Pencil case.
We've done that before. Yeah, we've done that before. Pencils, yeah, it could. I mean, and then we did the '84 version. So we had the first movie version, and a couple of, the typical mugs and sentiments. So this is another one that was introduced at Mother's Day because Wonder Woman moved more than once.
Yeah, I'm glad it's finally arriving.
And so there's several things, little carrying bags that we have, like a larger carrying like shopping bag type of thing. And then some water bottles and like travel mugs, all kind of things that really have empowering phrases on them to get you going for the day. And then, of course, we really like the idea of our gold costume. We couldn't not do our classic costume in Itty Bitties, but we like the gold costume as something different. I think from an ornament standpoint, it would look fantastic on the tree just because it has that kind of gold bling on it.
Yeah. And the new characters in there too, in the Itty Bitties, right? The new
Cheetah's on there. I'm anxious to see how she's going to be on screen, and I mean, I think Kristen Wiig is a fascinating pick for her, for such a sort of complex character. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to play out on screen for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back next year and talk about that. See what was our review of Wonder Woman 84 and Cheetah, because, it's a little bit of a lesser known character. Like if you're just on the surface level of fandom with Wonder Woman or DC Comics and stuff. So, I'd be interested to see how they introduce her and work through that complexity in just, an hour and a half or whatever running time that they have. So hopefully it'll do well. I mean, I'm sure the film will do well, but hopefully that part of the storytelling will do well. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think, Cheetah, what is one of her, from a comic standpoint, one of her more recognizable nemesis, but a lot of people like that don't necessarily follow all the comics wouldn't know that. And so I'm interested to see how she's translated for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. So if you guys have opinions or thoughts around that, drop us a hint or drop us a line, because I think that would be good conversation too for the future. But speaking of storytelling and, in iconic characters and iconic scenes, I think we have really got an opportunity to delve into that now with Star Trek, because, I hear a lot of more reboots and stuff. There's been a few articles out there about a Quentin Tarantino version, which I don't know what to make of that. I mean, I love Quentin Tarantino and I love Star Trek. I'm not sure if I'm, gonna love all that together like a, Reese's cup. I'm not sure if I'm gonna love that idea. But
it'd be surprising. At first, I thought like if David Lynch would have directed Return of the Jedi, but now that I think about it, you look at Robert Rodriguez doing Mandalorian recently, there's the people think of these directors as sort of one-hit wonders, but I do think that they could bring an interesting perspective to the table into these universes that may have not been seen before. So I wouldn't completely discredit it, even though it seems like when you first are just like, what?
Yeah, he has a distinctive style, though. He has a very distinctive, like you can tell right off the bat what movie is a Quentin Tarantino movie, right? Yeah. And so then it's like, okay, so then how do you marry that up with Star Trek? And right. Well, I mean, I'm just curious and interested, but I'm also like, please don't mess it up, because
I think it would have to be the right content and the right, and so, and of course, nobody knows. Those are just rumors. I mean, they're filling their pipeline with so much other content from younger audience shows to the guys that are doing the Lower Decks. They're from Rick and Morty. They're doing Lower Decks, and of course Picard. So rebooting very beloved characters, and have announced future slates or future television shows that will do the same.
They even have podcasts now.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek is something, again, and we because it started in the 60s, a lot of people look at it as an old property, but it's one that really kind of has been defined by decades too, because they've had different shows for different decades. So there's been different age groups that have gotten into it based on, some people consider their Star Trek to be the next generation.
Right.
So now when you're looking at, and with streaming, again, it's another thing that young adults can go back and look, and because the stories and the content is something that's timeless and lasts over time, even if some of the graphics are hokey because of the time frame, time frame that it was done.
Or the squishy rocks when they're falling over the mountains, you know, when Kirk is pushing them.
That's funny because I went to Universal Studios and they had that whole, me and my nephew were in the stage show that they do for Star Trek. I don't know if you knew they did this. And they had those foam rocks. And my nephew's like 6 years old and he's picking up this foam rock. It looks hilarious. But yes, no, I mean, there's that hokey stuff, but it's the story. The stories stand tight, you know, to today's sort of. I mean, it's just as relevant, as it was then. So
yeah, I mean, kudos to Gene Roddenberry and being able to create something that can stand the test of time, because regardless of the graphics or the costuming or whatever it is for that time period, you know, original series I'm talking about, you know, the storytelling could be translated to today and you could make it all look modern or even into the future, the further future, and be like the similar stories or similar ideals and moral stories or what have you still apply.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Star Trek actually was one of our first pop culture licenses we've ever did in 1991. So it's one of those things that we've developed a fan base even prior to the Star Wars fans. I mean, of course, we've had Disney and Peanuts, but when you think of something that doesn't feel as traditional Christmas or may not feel that, you know, oh, that makes sense Christmas.
And doesn't have a holiday special.
Right, doesn't have a holiday special yet.
Yeah.
I think I have a Klingon Christmas book. Okay, so.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
There's definitely some fun stuff out there. But yeah, this year we were finally able to offer the Storytellers line, which will go for 3 years.
I think we have a video of that.
Yeah, that's the tree topper is phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing. So this is one where, just like with Harry Potter has Hogwarts on top, the tree topper actually works. We didn't have the technology for the Death Star to work when we did Star Wars, and so that plays a role in the story as well. So we had done so many iterations of these characters. We thought what would be cool this time is to do mirror universe. The other thing great about that episode is that it's dialogue that a lot of the different crew is a part of. And so it was a little bit easier to tie that story together and get a full robust story without having to jump around, because, you know, it's different doing a movie that's much more linear than, you know, a lot of episodes that could be choppy through shows. So we're learning our way through that too. But the Tree Topper has the full music that you love. The lights on the Tree Topper I just love.
That's amazing.
So you'll see some additional characters come to next year and the year after, and then we'll be done with that series.
I love that story arc, actually, that the alternate universe. Like, I just find that so fascinating. I don't know. That was one of my favorite stories.
Totally. We've done some itty bitties with that too, and you might see some more.
I think maybe one of the coolest parts about it are the costumes, because they're so different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Where, you know, I don't know, Uhura's costume was like super cool, and I don't know, it was just really neat to see them. Maybe because we also saw them as very squeaky clean characters, you know, and their personas and their personalities, and just see them so different, a little grittier. I found that interesting.
Yeah, and Spock with a beard.
Yeah. Who knew? Like, I mean, that I don't even want to talk about how he had to figure that out. No, but I think that's, you know, really, really amazing. I love those ornaments. I think they're really cool. And you picked a really good time to, you know, like to tell that story, which story to tell, because there's so many. I think that's a really neat one to do. But yeah, to your point of which one is your Star Trek, my Star Trek is Next Generation. You're right. That's kind of how I got introduced to Star Trek, and then went back and learned about the original series and watched the original series episodes and such. And this probably happens a lot in a lot of the various fandoms, you know, where you start with one entry point and then you go and explore the rest of the universe.
It's like music genres too, you know, music genres that you listen to, and so many people listen to songs and they didn't realize those songs have been two or three times done by other artists, or that artists were completely influenced by other artists, or their main album isn't, where they started, and there's all this other music catalog before that. So it's similar with television, and that has sort of like different years to it.
I remember there was a gamer commercial or something like that was using the iconic Flash Gordon, like dun 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 dun, the background, that consistent beat. And my son, he was younger at the time, and my son's like, oh, this is a great sound, Mom, right? This is a great song. And I'm like, yeah, that's great when it was in Flash Gordon, the movie. And he's like, what do you mean? What's Flash Gordon? And I'm like, how could I be such a fail in geek momdom? So I was like, all right, here we go, education time. So that's when they got exposed to the original Flash Gordon film. And that became a ringtone.
Queen soundtrack.
Yeah, that was it. And that was their introduction to Flash Gordon. And, then it became of course it's the running joke. And then of course it becomes, like a ringtone, and, you're off to the races at that point. But that's how it is with music and films and TV shows, where you think that's the new version, but you always have this other universe behind it. And I think that's cool. And we can explore it not only on film and music and gaming, but we also then can explore it through the storytelling of the ornaments and stuff, because who knows if it's like your 4-year-old niece or nephew or someone who's younger, and that's how they actually learn about these characters on the Christmas tree.
Absolutely. Hey, I've seen 4-year-olds do this, so.
Yeah. You're like, do you really know what that means? Here, that kid, let me tell you. And you pull out the ornament. This is the person. I think that's pretty neat. I love that, sharing those ideas in those moments. And speaking of little ones, I think we have a whole new little one to talk about. So the biggest little person who has taken over the world lately has been, I'm going to use the proper term, Grogu.
Back there, so you can't see it very well. It's down there somewhere, but yes, Grogu, aka the child, aka Baby Yoda.
Yeah. He has many names, but we all love him just the same. So tell us about how you've been, introducing new characters and new pieces to the Star Wars universe.
Well, this one came by surprise for everyone last year, when it dropped. So I was working over Christmas, as we all were. So was Lucasfilm at Jeff, to make sure that there were Christmas ornaments this year and itty bitties this year. We had already planned, Mandalorian. We knew it was coming. We knew Mandalorians were big. So we had worked on that, but we had to scramble to get, but I don't even know that I call him Grogu right now. We had to scramble to get the child Baby Yoda. I don't know. I think I just like to call him Baby Yoda. On the tree this year, and we have it for keepsake ornaments. We've also did quite a few for our regular Hallmark ornament line that goes to the mass channels, mass retail channels. Mm-hmm. So you can't get enough. Nobody can get enough of them. We sold out actually in a week for keepsake ornaments. So I didn't check this morning. We were supposed to get more in, I think today, any day now. We're just waiting for it to hit. So if you haven't gotten him yet, please keep checking back, because he should be in. And I do love that there's been a lot of other people doing Baby Yoda sculpts. I really think this one is a nice one that we did in his little pram and stuff. So he's super cute.
I love when he gets really scared and he's like, oh, I'm out of here. And he hits the button and he hides.
Everything he does is just adorable. He can like be mad and it's adorable. Yeah. He eats macarons and it's adorable. Everybody wants to eat macarons now.
Yeah. Very expensive blue macaroons.
Yeah. Space macarons. So,
the ornaments do really look good. The sculpt's really good, and I know that we were showing, Mando and the child in the pram, which are really, really sweet. And then there's like some itty bitties that you were showing. You even have like a pop-up card too. I think we're showing that too.
We'll be having a lot of cards. And another thing we do a lot of pop-up cards for is Harry Potter. So you're seeing, and some of the superheroes. And some of the
cool environments, probably.
That completely. Like we've done Hogwarts for Harry Potter. The pop-up cards are, super, super nice. You'll be seeing lots of more cards, both regular cards, pop-up cards with The Mandalorian coming soon. So for sure. I'm not showing near as much greeting cards. We don't have as many licensed Christmas cards. I mean, sometimes we have some box cards, a lot to do with the Christmas movies like Elf and things like that. But you don't see, as much as some of the stuff that we're talking about. It depends. It depends on what year it is. So,
well, the child definitely merits his own card. So,
yes, and he definitely has a regular one. You might be seeing Christmas next year. With him. So I think he's a great character that will live on for some time in regards to consumer products and hopefully on the screen too. It's like one of those things is like you think you can get sick of it, but you can't. You just look at its face.
I hope we don't. I really don't hope we don't get jaded. It's like, oh, now we're sick of seeing this kid. I hope we don't get that way.
I hope we don't either. But like it is for me, sometimes when you can listen to a song over and over, you can watch something over and over and over. Like I could watch Star Wars over and over. I think it's one of those.
Yeah,
I believe that it is because I just
he is super cute.
And people are collecting everything like just that. I mean, I've seen this year Baby Yoda trees, so they'll hang. That's another thing people do is hang itty bitties on their trees.
Oh yeah, they kind of stick them in there probably.
Oh
too.
yeah, itty bitty. I see anything on trees these days. But so yeah, if there's not, I mean, somebody wants a full Baby Yoda tree. So I mean,
but hey, why not? I mean, we can do anything to bring ourselves joys nowadays.
It'd be a great mini tree. It's like a baby Yoda tree. So it's very
there you go. Anybody who's listening who's designing that, I wonder. So we have just a few more minutes and we have some exclusive reveals that you brought to us today. So which one do you want to go into first?
Well, we were just talking about character that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited to announce, I mean, obviously we're going to be doing more Mandalorian products for adults, and this is still for adults, but we decided to do a baby program specifically around Grogu, a baby.
Oh my gosh. Is this like a layette program?
Is it, say that again?
Is it like a layette program?
I forget.
Like baby blankets and,
Yeah. Sorry. See, I don't normally work in these materials. Yeah. I don't know all the industry lingo. Thanks for teaching.
It's a very proper apparel program. Sorry.
I also don't have a baby, except for a Grogu, my miniature life-size Grogu, and a cat. But I guess I could put the cat and the baby.
You could do that. Yeah.
Looks cute. But there's a little snow globe. There's itty bitty. There's a bookend, so you'll see a knitted bookend. It has a very specific sort of more cute styling that one of our artists did that we translated onto all of the different various things. So I didn't have enough of the early renditions of them to show actuals, but this was the concept sheet.
Yeah.
And I did get permission from the team to be able to sneak peek it. Nobody's ever seen it. It's the first time we've shown it.
FanGirl exclusive.
And so, that's going to be a spring release. So coming up pretty soon.
So is there like the one that wraps up? Is that like a little towel, with a hooded towel?
Yes, that's like a little hooded towel for.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is so cute. I can't wait to see people putting that on their social media.
I know, it's super cute. I think somebody did actually put it on one of their children. I should have tried to get that from them because they just wanted to show us what it would look like when it came in. So
yeah, test fit and stuff like that. That's pretty neat. So it's a towel program. There's like a receiving blanket, it looks like. What's the plushy head with the like blanket style? What's that?
That's called a lovey. So it's like we've done that with a lot of our itty bitties. So it has sort of the itty bitty head and body, and then brings like a little lovey down. So it's really just like a blanket and stuffed animal in one sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So for kids that like the security pieces of like having a blanket or
yeah, it is. It's like a little security thing. It's a little easier to pick up than like just a blanket that folds. It's a little bit cuter. So.
Mm-hmm. No, that's perfect. Well, I think that's going to be great because springtime is also a really good time for, debuts for baby products and baby showers and all of that. So that's kind of neat. And after 2020 and the lockdowns, there may be a lot of babies next year. So
I think so.
You can combine your streaming obsession with the results of 2020 lockdown and what a great marriage.
Absolutely. Yeah. And after Disney's announcement yesterday, I think there's enough content for till we retire.
Yeah, we don't ever have to come out of lockdown again.
If there's another pandemic, we're set. As long as the production can keep going on, we can stream forever.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, just even the spinoffs of the Mandalorian's been just great this season. So, you know, I think it's kind of cool that we're learning about some of this from real time, and we can't always bring consumer products this year to meet the needs of what's happening in the show. But there's an excitement that no one knows about that, you know, you kind of did during the original trilogy. That's kind of creating this energy and this spark. And there's so much energy this season with so many cool characters, like reintroducing Ahsoka, which we just sold our last amount of exclusives this morning.
I love that. I didn't get it, but it's really cool. I love those helmets. So the final, and one of the characters that actually got revealed for a new piece of content actually is Lando. So that kind of leads us into our final reveal.
Yes. So next year, 2021, is 25 years of keepsake ornaments doing Star Wars. And so we wanted to be able to commemorate that. The very first keepsake ornament we did in 1996 was the Millennium Falcon. And so what you see now is a metal version. We've been doing some of these metal versions of ships and droids and things over the years. So we wanted to be able to offer the Millennium Falcon as sort of like a commemorative 25-year piece, have a little 25-year mark on it. And we've got other stuff that's obviously coming that are great announcements as well. And I saw the picture. Of course, I think we're going to go back to this, obviously the Solo era, where you'll actually have the escape pod will be intact and it'll be nice and clean.
That'll be fine.
Falcon in its prime, which we did do during the Solo movie. We did do that version.
Well, good. Now you can reuse that sculpt.
That's true.
That's right. Well, I love all this stuff. Say again.
I want his wardrobe closet and just like a line of.
Oh my gosh, those capes alone, like, wow, like the fabrics. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we can go through a whole another just streaming on like Lando's wardrobe.
Absolutely.
So Christine, thank you so much for coming on and walking us through some of the cool new ideas and innovations. And hopefully everybody got some really good ideas. If you haven't gotten your ornament for the year, because I know everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people like to purchase a new ornament every year to commemorate that year. So hopefully if you haven't gotten yours now, you have some wonderful options. You have some options for decor. You have some options for your gamers and for your geeky friends and loved ones. I might have to be purchasing some of these for myself and adding them to our trees. But, again, thank you again for spending your time with us, Christine, and showing us through this. And also, where can we find all these lovely items?
There's Hallmark Gold Crown stores for most of the keepsake ornaments that you see. Of course, we do sell ornaments in other distribution channels that are a little bit different price point depending on what you want. The keepsakes only come once a year. They're more collectible. The others you might see in the marketplace longer. So Gold Crown stores, if they're open, we know not everybody has them open. So a lot of it's available online. Some of it's curbside pickup. Some of it's shipped from store. So there's a lot of different options if we have the inventory. Yeah. We still have the inventory. And I think 12/13 might be the last day. 12/13, 12/15-ish might be the last day to cut off to receive by Christmas. If you're ordering online, just to be sure, it's like the safety cutoff. So
be sure to get yours.
I would be sure and get it as soon as possible.
And where can we find you if we should like to see more about what you guys are doing at PopMinded and maybe even you, Christine?
Well, PopMinded specifically, we have an Instagram, and that's all things that we do pop culture at Hallmark. And so if you're strictly just looking to look at our pop culture stuff, it's at PopMinded Instagram handle. We also have, if you're just looking for some keepsakes too, all of our keepsakes have an Instagram and a Facebook that's Hallmark Keepsakes. And then of course, Hallmark has their own Instagram channels that would be a mix of our content. And I'm at Disco Gnome on Instagram.
Disco Gnome. So
a disco gnome in this house, by the way. There is. Yeah, maybe I'll bring it out next time.
Well, that's amazing. Well, again, thank you for spending your time with us. And you guys, if you have been tuning in for the first time, thank you for spending your time with us again or for the first time. And hopefully you got some good information and, had some really, had fun following along this conversation. Tune in next week where we have our last episode of the year. I can't believe we're saying that, but we have a really great special for you for next week. And we'll be back probably in the new year. Not probably, we will be, but we'll announce some programming things next week as well. So follow along, same bat time, same bat channel next week, and we shall see you soon. Happy FanGirl Friday, everybody. Thanks. Stay safe.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
All the above.